Hey y'all, Rob here. So got a image from Steve, or one of our newest members. Steve is living down in Florida and he wants to get back into photography. And yeah, Steve is 85 years old. Kudos. And you know, I wish him well. He's got a lot of experience and a lot of gear and equipment and stuff like that. So he's done ferries before. He's been out of the game for a while. So, as usual, I always offer to anyone who, if you have an image, you want me to sort of analyze it or look at it and give you some workflow ideas. That's what I'm doing. So, Steve sent me this image here. First thing I always do is I look at the file info. Shot with a Canon Rebel. Woo, that's old school. 18 to 35 lens. Not sure which actual focal length you set it at. That's kind of a, I'm sure it's a very low cost sort of a consumer grade lens. So is the camera. I mean, I don't even know if they make Rebels anymore. They were pretty good for what they were, and this one's kind of older. I don't know what year it is, but I'm looking over here. 2012 was when this image was created. So we're going back a few years. Doesn't matter though. Doesn't matter what camera you use. I have friends of mine, specifically James Hodgins and John Robbie. James is a industrial mining photographer, and John is a graduation photographer. Their cameras are 14, 15 years old. It's the funniest thing. The results they get are amazing. So it's not the camera. Anyway, so this was shot at, trying to find which ISO. I know the Rebel, when you get the higher ISOs, it starts to fall apart. Oh, here it is. So you shot this at f9 at 200 ISO. You could have probably brought it down to 100. It's not bad. I mean, 200 is okay. And you could reduce your aperture down to f8 probably, or 5.6 and a half. Okay, just a thought. I mean, I'm rambling. So, okay, when I look at this shot, beautiful dress, beautiful backdrop, you got everything going for you. Before I get into some workflow, I'm looking at all this. You got all this. There's a lot of plant stuff there. So when I look at the stuff that I do, I just have a little bit. See. So just something to think about. And also, sorry. Oh, where am I? I'm supposed to go to Photoshop. There we go. Whenever I pose these, I mean, I don't want to compare, but I just want to give you inspiration. So look at some of mine. This is a more recent one. You have the girl more turned towards you, and your lighting is kind of flat. You notice this is lighting. I always harp on about lighting. My main light's large. It's usually almost 90 degrees. It's a big halo light or an octodome. Bigger is better, or a shoot through. You can see by the shadows, you got those beautiful shadows, and that's what you want to get. So the way you've got it, it's sort of like flat. And you probably know that already, so I'm not going to belabor the point. But same thing here. This is a couple of years ago. So you can see the shadow on the one side. And because she's got, in this shot that you see right here, she's literally facing me dead on. The shadows are not as prominent. And they're a little more, because I see the side of her face here. You could see more of her face is shadowed. Anyways, I'm rambling. So I just want to point that out insofar as the actual pose is concerned. And looking at the actual set that you have here. So, I'm really fussy about poses, and you get really good at poses when you're doing these. Her left leg's missing. My wife gets on my case all the time. She wants to see both legs. I don't always get that, but my wife's always on my case, and I'm getting on your case. You might have to reduce the amount of plants you have on the edge of the pond so that the girl doesn't have this big stretch. I think she has this probably a lot of space. Her left leg might be way back there, and so that you can turn her towards the camera as well, so you can see both wings, and get that lighting a little more carving on the face. So, okay, so I'm going to run my workflow. It's my fairy workflow. I always tell people that you got to work out your own workflow. Sorry, that's the wrong one. You think I would know this by heart, eh? It's Shift F5. I hit the wrong one. So I'm just going to have fun. So my workflow is half sepia, and it's adjusted for my images. So this looks a little bit underexposed. So let's just assume, I'm going to open the curves a little more here. Let's just assume it was customized for you. So you could see my half sepia. Now, whether or not you like half sepia is totally up to you. Some people like Ted Linzak, if you've watched his webinars that I've had with him, he does full color, no half sepia. I'm always half sepia. All my images have been since day one. I don't give them an option, and that's a bad idea in case you're thinking, should I give them an option of full color or half sepia? No, you just pick one and stick with it. Okay. So, it's a completely fine and it's a completely workable image. I would run it through Envato to get a little bit of more retouching, but I've talked about that in other recent videos. So, I mean, little kids don't need a lot of retouching, but because I have Envato and I found a really good way to use Envato to run it through the fairies. I run it on my weddings, I run it on my headshots, I run it on all my families. It's the most amazing program. If you have any questions about that one, watch some of the more recent videos that I posted. I think I posted one specifically on Envato. So anyways, I'm going to just try something here. I'm going to So I got this action. What I've done was, it's a duplicate layer, and just to lighten the face. See that? That's all. I like to do that on fairies. So I'm going to flatten it, and I'm going to run it again one more time, just to make her face a little more bright. Maybe the legs. If you run this on Envato, it takes out all these little bruises and things. Okay. So I'm going to grab all of my, and again, this is set for my workflow. I always encourage people to create their own layers, their own textures. I can help you. So I size that down. Now I'm going to hit this one, and I'm going to hit all the rest. Shift Control T. It's going to size them all the same as what I just did, so that they're all matching this picture. Okay. I'm going to do the same with that one. Size it down, and then I'm going to bring this down here because its toes touching the water. Boom, so I'm going to erase the toes out. Boom. So, what I'm doing, isn't the end all be all. I'm just playing and making suggestions, and I'm going to recommend to Steve that you get a few more up-to-date samples. I mean, you're good to go. You got the experience, you got all the equipment, and I know Steve just bought he bought a mushroom from our good friend Tim. Yeah, let's just be happy with that. I'm going to erase that corner out there. I got the rays. See the rays? So I'm going to bring it up to the corner. I always erase the rays in case it's on her face. I don't think it is. Usually, I put the rays on the same side as the main light, but your main light's flat. There's no distinctive main light in this shot. And I use this one here for the lantern, but you don't have a lantern in here. Bum, bum, bum. All right, well, let's just drop it there. That's okay. Bum, bum, boom. Just having fun. Very random when I place these. There's no hard rules. This is how I do my workflow on all my images. Okay, and when I'm happy, I flatten it, sharpen it. I have my sharpen action. And I do add a little soft focus. See, that's at 100%. You can tell right here, right on top here. If I went like that, it would be, whoa, that's way too much. So when I do soft focus, I bring it down to 10%-ish. 11's good. Okay. Let's go after. And now let's go to Evato just for fun. I just did a wedding, 2 weddings last weekend, so I've been working on those. It's really cool because all the formal images that I have for the bride and groom, they're all retouched now. Okay, so this is Evato. I'm bringing that image. Create new project. So there's the image that I just worked on, right? Okay, so it's in Evato. So I have presets. See my presets right here? Fairies. I got one for fairies. So I'm going to hit fairies. You see it right in the bottom. It's processing. It's processing. See it right here? We're going to let it process. So I have a fairies preset specifically in Evato for all my fairy images. Normally I run it through Evato for retouching, and then I add all those sparkles and arrays and that. See that? Before, after. Before, after. See, it cleans up the shine. Spruces up the hair. Gives it a bit of a painterly quality. So I'm going to export that. Should be in here. Okay, it creates a folder called finals. It's processing, so as soon as it's done, it's going to show up right there. Bum, bum. Almost done. There it is. See? Okay, so just food for thought. We have, let's get rid of that. So there's before, after. Hold on, give me a sec. All right, here we go. That's what Steve sent me. That's retouched with Evato. Got it? Dug. Let me do it one more time. That's what Steve sent me. I made my comments on it. Beautiful gown, by the way. I love this kind of gown when you got the bare arms and lots of flowers. You know? The girls love them. Steve's got a good collection of them, so yay. And then, okay, so there's before, what Steve sent me. There's the one I worked on with my half sepia. And there it is with retouching. All right, we're at the 15-minute mark. I hope this helps, guys. Thanks, Steve. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.